Hello and welcome to Cooking with Steve. It's a little chilly out today, so I decided to spice things up and make a little bit of jambalaya. So as you can see, I've got a wok going on the stove right now. So we're just going to add a little bit of oil. I'm going to use some Louisiana peanut oil. We won't need a lot, but to keep our chicken and our andouille sausage from sticking, we'll need a little bit. So let's get that going. I diced up some nice chicken breast here. Normally I like to use a thigh with this dish, but they didn't have any boneless, skinless thighs, so I went with this. Alright, and I took up some andouille sausage and cut it in medallions, as you can see, and I'm going to add that as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this up. Get it all frying up nicely, and once it's browned up real nice, we'll take it out and we'll get started with our vegetables. I'll see you when these are done. The chicken and the andouille sausage browned up really nicely, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that from our wok. Really delicious, these flavors combined. I may have too much of this, so when we put it all back together, we may have to leave some out, but that's alright, we can use it for something else. Alright. So I'm just going to set that aside for now. I'm going to add back just a little bit more oil. And our vegetables that we're going to use, I've got 3 collars of bell peppers here, and I also have onions and celery. I'm going to start with the onions and celery, get those going first. I like to start with them because they take just a little bit longer to cook than the peppers do. So it just gets them caramelized a little bit, lets them break down a little bit. I can start with those. Give them a real good stir. Break up the onion where it's kind of still in chunks. I'll let those go, and when those caramelize up really nicely, we'll go ahead and we'll add our peppers. We'll be back. The onions and the celery have caramelized up really nicely, and you can tell that they reduce quite a bit as they cook, which is good. That's not a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and add about a heaping teaspoon of minced garlic. I'm going to add our bell peppers, once again green, red, and yellow. Give that all a good stir. And the peppers will reduce as well while it's cooking. So let's let these flavors combine. That garlic will get mixed in there. The sweetness of the peppers will all go in there. The sweetness of the onions, once they've caramelized, will be really nice. And then later, when we add our andouille back and some spices, we'll heat it up. Alright, I'm going to let these veggies go for a little bit, and we'll be back. Okay, our peppers have been going for a little while. They're starting to get real tender and nice. So I'm going to go ahead and add some rice to the mix. I've got 2 cups of rice. I'm going to mix that in. Let it absorb some of the oils. Almost like you're browning the rice a little bit. It won't brown real well because of the vegetables in there, but just get it all incorporated in there really good. Another thing I like to use is I like to use some Rotel tomatoes in there to help bring up the heat. Now, a traditional jambalaya may not have tomatoes in it, and some people from Louisiana might argue with me, but I like to add it. So I'm going to add some Rotel tomatoes. And I'm going to add some chicken stock. Now you're basically going to want to use about a 2-to-1 ratio with rice to chicken stock. 1 being the rice, 2 being the chicken stock. I can always add some more in a little bit, so I'm not going to use quite the whole carton. Better safe than sorry kind of thing. Give that all a good mix. And what we want to do is we want to bring this up to a nice simmer or a boil. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a lid. And the lid will help bring this up to a boil by holding in the heat a little bit more. And when that gets going, we'll be back again. All right, we're back again. The rice is doing really well. It's come to a nice simmer. I'm going to go ahead and add some spices. Got a little chili powder here. A little salt. Black pepper. Some Tony Cattre's Creole seasoning. This is really good stuff. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add in the shrimp. Now, I didn't add the shrimp earlier with all the other ingredients or cook it with the chicken because shrimp doesn't take that long. So let's put that shrimp in there. Give this a little stir. I can tell that the rice is really absorbing the liquid. So I'm going to add a little bit more stock. If you remember, I was unsure whether I should put some more in earlier. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Get that all mixed in there really nicely. Get those spices incorporating well. Really colorful, beautiful. I can smell it. It smells wonderful. Alright, I think I've got those pretty well incorporated. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add about a little over half of what we made here of the andouille sausage and the chicken. Let me rinse my hand real quick. This is really going to be a full dish. Once again, I always try to put too much in. I like all these foods and different tastes, and I typically have too much stuff in my pot, and this is no exception. But that's okay. Give this all a really good mix. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn the temperature down quite a bit, down to about a 2. Put my lid back on, let this simmer, and we'll be back when it's done. Alright, we're back. It's been simmering for quite a while, about 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off. Give it a nice stir. Oh yeah, that came together really nicely. There's still a little bit of broth on the outside there, but that's fine. The rice will soak it up. This looks pretty good. Actually looks very delicious. Let me grab a spoon. bowl here. Go ahead and put a little bit in the bowl. Get some andouille. Make sure I got some chicken in there. Let's give it a little quick taste. Oh, that's nice and spicy. The rice is tender. Let's try the sausage. Oh, fantastic. If you ever make this dish, you can use smoked sausage, but the andouille is the key, man. Try it out. It's fantastic. A little bit of the chicken. Tender, tasty, a little spicy. Some of the shrimp and rice now. Oh my goodness, this is so delicious. It's going to be fantastic. I'll probably package some of this and freeze it, but oh my goodness, it's great. You got to give it a try. Jambalaya on a nice cool day. Spicy. It's going to heat me up. Fantastic. Well, that concludes today's episode of Cooking with Steve. I hope you enjoyed spending the time with me because I sure enjoyed spending the time with you. If you would, help me out by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with your friends. And as always, please remember to live modestly, speak humbly, and enjoy life fully. We'll see you next time.